Hello and welcome to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. We are back on the Zooms today with NW Works. Morgan McIntosh is joining me. She is their communications coordinator. She's brought along a newbie-ish person to the Zooms with us today. Todd Devine is the NW Works CFO, their chief financial officer. And if the name Devine sounds vaguely familiar, it's because many of you listening have heard Dawn Devine from the Shenandoah Valley Discovery Museum on the show several times. You'll get to hear her and Tammy, as a matter of fact, next week on the show. And Todd is Dawn's husband. And Todd, I joked with you when we first got started that I'd never actually seen your face or met you before, even though I've known Dawn for years.
Yeah, that happens in all of Dawn's jobs. Even before we moved here, and Rochester was that way too. Everybody knew Dawn, and I was the sidekick, and I'm okay with that role.
You and my husband share that in that everybody says, "Oh, you're Janet's husband." It's not like he has his own identity.
Yes, that's exactly it. And that's just fine with me.
Morgan, I'm excited to talk today about the Farm to Table event that you guys do every single year. It is one of, I think, the most unique events that happen in our community, not only as a fundraiser for NW Works, but it's just such a cool thing to be able to sit at one big table with your neighbors and fellow community members and know that the food you're eating is coming from many of the local farms that are right here.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks so much for having us on, Janet. And thanks for the spotlight that you really accurately put on Farm to Table. We've got the event coming up on September 12th. It's from 4 to 6:30 for general admission on Church Street. And like you said, we blend our mission with dining under the Shenandoah sky. You've got all these wonderful opportunities to network with business leaders in the Valley, with your neighbors in the Valley. All these different aspects of the event come together. Our host is Middletown. Our presenting sponsor is Trex. It's really going to be a wonderful, wonderful evening full of all the things that make the Valley special.
We have talked about it briefly in other shows, but typically what happens is by now, as people are listening mid-August, it is already sold out. However, that is not the case right now. So it's kind of not great for you, but super great for somebody who's always wanted to go and never been able to get tickets.
It is, yeah. It's a rare opportunity for Farm to Table not to be sold out. But as I've been talking to folks, I was at the Bank of Clark, the top of Virginia Regional Chamber Business After Hours, and folks were saying it's not sold out, but let me get on that. I need to get my ticket. Expecting those registrations to be rolling in pretty much as we speak, because the event, it's in its 11th year and our VIP is sold out, but general admission, you've still got a chance.
So explain to me what I get for general admission for someone who maybe isn't all that familiar with it. How does it work?
Sure thing. So you get a locally sourced meal, and that's from our featured restaurant of the event, and that is Clum's Kitchen. They're at the Wayside Inn. They have phenomenal food, so don't miss out on that.
I will tell you, I just learned recently that they have taken over management of the entire facility. So they are also now the ones that you can book a room through, which I am over the moon thrilled about.
That is fantastic. Yeah, Amanda and Bill Whitson, they are top-notch folks. They've got good food to pair with it, so who can say no to that? We've got wine pairings from Timeless Wines, live music performed by Fair and Winter, and you dine out under the Shenandoah sky. You're working with different community members, different business partners to network in that way. And then also, it's just an evening of good time. You're blending the mission, blending a good cause, and blending phenomenal food. So we'll have all that going on for attendees.
I will tell you that I absolutely love that you've moved it off of Main Street itself.
Yes.
As a resident of Middletown, it is sometimes annoying when Main Street is closed and I can't get through. So having it on Church Street, you'd think that I would be even more annoyed because I actually live on Church Street, but I think it is phenomenal because you've got the tree canopy, and I think the atmosphere is so much better on Church.
It's a phenomenal atmosphere. I mean, even with the heat, fingers crossed, we're doing our no rain dance and our fair weather dance, if that's a thing. But you have the shade. We've got some tents popped up, and just the atmosphere overall. Middletown is beautiful to begin with.
Yeah, and every year that we've been doing this, it's gotten more and more oriented to this farm to table feel. That feel has gotten more and more authentic and
for sure,
more and more real the last 3 years that I've been attending.
Yeah, we have ingredient donors that pretty much span the valley. I mean, you have Dancing Cup Farms, we had Fox Meadow, I believe it was, all these different farms. We've got Harvey Cheese, you name it. And pretty much any farm that you can think of, just about they have either contributed yearly or they've contributed every other year. So we've definitely got the community backing us in that way.
And that ties into what you do. One of the things that you do there at NW Works overall is you have a community garden there. So that farm to table and growing your own food is part of what you accomplish in your mission.
Yeah, I'll give you some stats, Janet. We've grown 382 pounds of produce so far this year alone.
Get out.
That's only a couple of months. Donations, 304 pounds. It's absolutely incredible. You've got Fish of Clark County, you have Knights of Columbus Food Pantry, and then our own folks, they have the opportunity to go to those places, volunteer, see that the produce that they have not only started from seed, harvested, and they're learning about, they're getting to cook in our own kitchen. It's not only feeding them, but it's feeding the community members that they're getting to help out.
And I think that has become so much more important to so many people. So there are likely people that are coming to this event or now are going to be coming to this event because they do understand and appreciate the value of knowing where their food comes from, that salmonella recalls and lettuce recalls and all of these things are not necessarily going to affect those of us that buy from the farmers that are in our backyard. But there are a lot of people that also don't understand why that's important. And this farm to table event also serves as an education piece for them.
100%. Yeah. I mean, you have all these different farms, ingredient sponsors, and just folks in general who have contributed to the event. And it brings in that sense of awareness for community members to learn more about their business too. I've been doing the event now for 3 years, and each year there's a new ingredient sponsor. I find someone new to support. So you've got all these opportunities to not only bring it back to the community, but also to give back to the farms that so willingly support the event.
And it's such a great networking event for the people who attend. Every year, I run into somebody who says they met somebody because they were at that farm to table and that they've been trying to reach them for months, if not years, and couldn't find an email address or couldn't get a phone call returned. And then it turned out they were sitting right next to them at farm to table. It's got a lot of other perks going for it as well.
It definitely does. And I think that is probably the top reason why our VIP reception sold out so fast is you have all these folks who just want to get a hand in on our sponsors, on that community that's going to be at the VIP reception.
A family style meal like that really does bring people together. You don't have to be intimidated that you're sitting next to a VP at Trex if you are a small business owner, because you're all sitting there together breaking bread for a good cause.
Exactly. Yeah. We're all eating the same meal, getting to enjoy the same food for the same cause. It's an event that not only brings folks together, but also it gives back. And we're really honored to have a hand in it and to just be able to benefit the way that we have.
Covers back to when I was growing up that we would do neighborhood block parties.
Oh, it
has
does
that kind of feel to it. You and your neighbors all come out and you're standing on the street and you've blocked off traffic just to sit together and have some dinner.
This one is VDOT approved.
Exactly.
That way, but yeah, gosh, it really does bring back kind of the good times. We've got a bit of an age gap, Todd, but
yes,
certainly brings back that feeling.
Yes, Morgan is the same age as my daughter.
I was going to say, I'm there with you, Todd. I know exactly what you're talking about. You and I are in that same boat.
Yeah. But still, bringing everybody onto the street and having that nice community. And you've got music, live music. You've got wine.
So, Morgan, before we go to break, how can people get tickets? Give me all the ticket information, and then we'll take a quick break.
You betcha. So we have got ticket information up on our website, and that's at nwworks.com. And then we have information on our Facebook, information on the Top of Virginia Regional Chamber's website under their events calendar. And then folks can also feel free to contact an employee of NW Works or to contact me directly.
So nwworks.com, probably best first place to go. That seems like the easiest, simplest way.
It is the simplest way for sure, yes.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the dinner itself, as well as the mission of NW Works. We are chatting today with Morgan McIntosh. She is the communications coordinator for the organization, along with Todd Devine. He is their chief financial officer. We're going to talk more with both of them when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
This Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. She doesn't know that yet. All she knows is that she went to justserve.org and volunteered an hour of her time. Browsing through dozens of service opportunities in her community, April decided to spend her Tuesday evening serving dinner to mothers and their children at a transitional house. She doesn't know she'll be serving a particular mother and daughter who will be spending their first night in this home. April doesn't know that the hot meal she'll serve is the first this mother and daughter will have had in a week, or that the simple smile she'll offer as she serves them will help them realize that things are going to be all right. Which is why this Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. See the difference you can make. Sign up for service opportunities in your community. Visit justserve.org.
Welcome back to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. It is all about farm to table on the show today. We are chatting with Morgan McIntosh. She is the communications coordinator for NW Works. Todd Devine is joining us as well. He is their chief financial officer. Farm to Table, of course, is the big fundraiser that they host every year. Morgan, in case someone on the radio is just now joining us, can you give me the details one more time for when it is, where it is, and how to get tickets?
You betcha. So we have the 11th annual Farm to Table celebration on Saturday, September 12th from 4 to 6:30 p.m. And that's on Church Street in Middletown. Folks can get their tickets for $100 for our general admission at nwworks.com. And that's not only a farm to table dinner, but you also get endless wine provided by Timeless Wines. You get live music from our musician, Farron Winter. And you get to dine under the Shenandoah sky with community members, neighbors, and business partners in the Valley.
You should start keeping stats on how much business is probably actually closed at that dinner that you should get a cut of.
Yes, we really should.
You'd like that, wouldn't you, Todd? To be able to say, hey, this much business was closed and NW Works gets 10%.
I definitely agree with you. I think that's one of the things that we liked about the event specifically for us is that we're all about the partnerships with businesses in town. Our mission is employment. We want to make sure that people with a disability have every opportunity to get employed if they wish to, and have the same opportunities every one of us has to get a job in an area that interests them. And so we count on the farm to table experience with us to first thank the vendors that have been partners with us, like Trex and Kohl's and many other businesses in town, but also to develop closer relationships and make that partnership tighter so that we are connected with those businesses, both on a social level, but also on a supporting our mission sort of level.
I think there is such a misconception around what it is that you do at NW Works and who it is that you provide services for, that coming to this farm to table dinner also allows you to see for yourself exactly the good that you're doing and the people that you're serving, so that then they can go back out into their circle of friends and business partners and whatnot and say, hey, did you know that NW Works does this, this, and this? And it's not what I thought it was XYZ. It probably has a very good value that way as well.
Yeah, it certainly does. We definitely have spent the last 3 to 5 years trying to message to the community more about what we really do. We are not a in-house workshop like we once were. We are an employment contractor for all intents and purposes. We do a wide variety of things. We have government contracts where we do services for some government sites around town. We do a number of different enclave type models at a few businesses in town, and we work to get people independently employed in the community. And that's the goal for us, is that independent community piece is the most important. The reason that we are a nonprofit versus an employment contractor is that we know that it takes a great deal more work to set someone up for success in employment. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we set people up for success. And so we do use that fundraising value to help offset those costs. We get funding through the state for some of these things, but the funding doesn't meet the mission as deeply as it needs to be. We can spend a dozen hours a month with a individual working side by side with them as their first few days to first 6 months of an employment time, and they're getting paid through the employer. We are basically tapped into that person's training during that process and making sure that, the onboarding and communication and all of that happens much more successfully.
I think that was one of the things that was so impressive to me. I myself did not understand the whole process of how everything works. And then once it was explained to me and I understood that you are as vested in that employee being successful as the employer is in having them do the job correctly and being productive, it makes so much more sense that you are able to stay there through that process. And then it's a win-win for everybody.
It really is a win-win for everyone. There is such a difficult market out there for employees, and that is the prime goal for us, is so that people give opportunities to others that we wouldn't necessarily have traditionally thought. If they had the supports to succeed, that might be the right choice.
And you serve clients that have such a crazy cool variety of skills
Oh,
that
yes.
sometimes get overlooked because someone maybe looks at them and makes that initial judgment and has no idea that they are a math genius or that they can take things apart and put them back together, or that they have these things in their brain that make them be able to see how a system can be more efficient. There are so many talented people that you're working with there at NW Works.
Yeah, it's definitely the whole idea of disability is more of a different abilities. Everybody has abilities that they're good at and things that they could improve on and sideline skills that they need to learn. We all know that school is really good for teaching math and reading and those kinds of things, but it doesn't really get into the depth of job placement. And that's where we fit into that puzzle.
Morgan, you and I have talked in conversations in the past too about how so many of the people that you place with an employer through NW Works, the employers come back to you and say, this is the best employee I've ever had. They show up on time, they enjoy their job, they make everybody around them that they're working with happier and in a better mood, which then increases productivity. It really is checking all the boxes.
There's so much to be said about having an employee who wants to be on your team and who has been trained from the start for this job that they potentially have been told throughout their life, no, you're not going to have a job, or that this might not be realistic for you. This goal might not end up working out at the end. But to have an employee who comes in and who's motivated and says, I've worked most of my life for this, or I've worked for a year or for 6 months or whatever for this role that I'm now placed in, that's a whole different ballgame for the employer to look at that individual.
And you have your clients that are there at the farm to table event, right? They're mingling with the people that are there. So everybody has that firsthand experience of that aha moment of what they thought was true really isn't.
Right. We can make sure that there are even more of our team members at the event, because there's an opportunity for folks who cannot make it to the event to sponsor a ticket for one of our team members to attend.
I love that idea. How does that work?
The same link that they use to purchase their own ticket at nwworks.com, they go down and they select registration for sponsor a client, and that ticket goes into a drawing for our team members to have, and that makes sure that even more of our individuals are able to have a seat at the table.
How have I not known about this?
It is, I think we rolled it out last year, I believe. Maybe it was the year prior. It's somewhat of a new initiative to make sure that our folks are also getting the same experiences and the same exposure to community leaders that the rest of us get, and connecting with sometimes either potential employers or their current employer. That's a really cool thing, to be able to kind of bump elbows with your employer at a function that you wouldn't normally get to see them at.
Yeah,
I don't know. That might be intimidating to be at a dinner somewhere and then find out that you're sitting next to your boss.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
For even the best of us, that would be like, I don't know that I want to do this.
Yeah. Thankfully for our folks, we've got such solid relationships with our 55 business partners that really having our folks at the table, it just adds in to that community, to that relationship that we've intentionally built and strengthened with our 55 partners.
So, Todd, before we wrap up, if someone is listening today, there's a small business, medium, large size business that had no idea that this was an option or an opportunity for them. Do they just reach out to someone at NW Works? How do they start that conversation?
Yes, essentially they do. Jim Stevenson is our employment head. And so he would be the person we would connect you with. And then he would line you up with either connecting with DARS if you needed some support to help pay for a job coach. And we would identify the right type of individual that would fit the role that you have. And we can do from single people to groups of people to projects. We have just a wide, vast array of things that we can do. Much more than people could possibly imagine. We do a lot of pick and pack type operations in the back. We do some kitting. We do a variety of options. And one of the initiatives we started most recently was shredding. We do paper shredding now too. So if businesses in town need a new paper shredder, we're in that business now too. And so we've got a number of things that are happening in the near future that are real positive.
Ironically enough, at the time that this episode is on air, we actually do have a pop-up shred day, more so for community members, but that's happening currently 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that's right here at our facility where folks can drop off their first boxes complimentary for shredding. And then we're doing additional for donation.
I got to clean up my office.
Bring it on over.
I have so much paper.
Yeah, lots of people. You are not alone in that.
So tell me again before we go, Morgan, when and where is the Farm to Table event and how can I get a ticket?
September 12th from 4 to 6:30 p.m. we will have the 11th annual Farm to Table on Church Street in Middletown, Virginia. General admission tickets are available for $100 and those can be purchased at nwworks.com.
All the foods, all the wines, all the musics, and all of the friends.
Yes, that about captures it. Yeah. New slogan.
Thank you, Morgan, for taking the time today. I do appreciate it.
Thank you, Janet. We appreciate your time.
And Todd, it was great to be able to chat with you. And now you and Dawn will have to have the very important conversation about which one of you was better on the radio.
Oh, there you go. We know that it's her, but that's all right.
That's all right. We can get your practice up.
That's
we'll get
right.
you
That's
up.
right.
We'll get you back on again. I will be back on Monday with a brand new episode of The Valley Today. However, I do want to remind you that it is the hot dog crawl this weekend. Tickets are sold out, so you're not going to be able to get a ticket. But what better entertainment could there be than wandering around the Old Town Walking Mall watching other people try to eat 10 hot dogs in 8 hours? I will be there not eating a hot dog. I am going to leave that to my husband to see how many of those things he can consume in that time frame. But whatever you choose to do this weekend, make sure that it is a good one. And remember to meet me back here on Monday, just a few minutes after noon.